All right, we're here with part 9. In part 8, I told the story about a short guy who works a minimum wage job that I know who gets tons of chicks. Anybody can do it. A lot of time I say that tell the story because a lot of times on here people complain that, oh, well, you say that you're 6'2" and you have a decent job, so that's why it's easy for you. No, it's because I treat women like people and I choose to be like fun and funny and have a good time and I can hold a conversation about things. It's everything to do with Riz and making people comfortable who I socialize with, and making sure they have a good time. It's got like nothing to do with much else. Now, granted, it's easier having a bit of money and having being 6'2". It makes it a hell of a lot easier. But it makes no sense to fully give up on the idea of dating just because you have to slightly harder, right? Just like it's dumb to have never played a Souls game or a minute of Elden Ring and jump right to Melania. Just as that's dumb, it's also dumb to suggest that that it's just completely impossible and that it's worth giving up on entirely. It's hard to, you can't even compare it to a video game, but maybe you could by saying that you, just because I start out with like a buff, like I have some cheap item that is always going to make it easier for me. Yeah, that's true, but you can still play the game. Like, you can still win, right? Let's use Elden Ring single player, right? Like, I'm playing a totally different game than you or anyone else on the planet is playing because I'm me. No one else is me. We're all playing a game where the end goal is to have a relationship, a happy, good relationship, and a happy, good life, right? So just because my game, I have some stupid, like, say I have some like pay to win item or something stupid, and it makes it a bit easier for me, that doesn't mean that it's just entirely easy. It's actually quite difficult. It's very, very difficult. But whatever's going on with my game doesn't interfere with your game. This People have such a bizarre perception of reality. There are so many women out there. There's no shortage of women, right? Like, men have a lower life expectancy because men go to war. Men go to prison, right? Like, that's the one thing that's never talked about is think about the amount of men that are either in prison or like in the army, where they're just like not even a part of the dating pool. It's truly bizarre that there's a larger supply of women than there is men, and these guys who just choose to cope by acting like they're just losing out to these like high value men, that there's just these, that the top like 2% or what, our top 20% of men get like every woman across the board. And it's like, that's not how it works. That simply is not how it works. These guys, these high value men, they give up, right? Like, they get tied down. Eventually a woman convinces them to like leave the dating pool. And also, there's just millions upon millions of people. Jeez, like, my goodness. You're just doing mental gymnastics if you think that there being more attractive men than you, or men that are like more attractive for whatever reason than you, just means it's impossible for you. That's absurd.
He doesn't try a new effective approach, so the rejections continue. So if you're single and your current approach to women is causing you to get rejected, don't keep using that approach. Try something new. If you're in a relationship or a marriage and your woman is rejecting you and you're hoping that she's just going to change, try a different approach with her. Try something that's going to make her feel attracted to you, respect you, and love you. Number 3, he thinks in a tribal way, not a modern way. So don't go through life thinking that people care and everyone's going to find out if you get rejected. just go after what you want. That's the way to succeed in today's world. You've got to be a man who goes after what he wants. And the irony is that when you do that, people actually look up to you and respect you. Think about...
Oh yeah, like I get a ton of respect for doing exactly that, for just being the person that I am, being somebody who has standards, right? I've broken up with many women in my life, or like, you know, sometimes you don't know how to do it, and you kind of just drift apart, and you never actually like verbalize the breakup or whatever. You know, you kind of just ghost. So if it's like a non-serious relationship, if it's like weeks or months long, then you can just kind of ghost. It happens. I once ended things with a woman just because I couldn't stand that her place was messy. I don't know what it was, but like she just didn't clean her place very often. And it bugged me. It bugged me enough to where it's like, I can't do this. Like, and she like wanted to hang out at her place all the time. Like my place is super clean. It's not at the moment, but I'm gonna literally spend like a third of the day tomorrow cleaning everything, mowing the lawn. But like usually when I'm not super busy, the place is like immaculate. Like just you could eat off the floors. You could eat off of almost any surface. That's just how I like to do it, and I like to keep it clean. It's a lot easier when you keep the place clean and don't let messes build up. And like there was a woman that I was very into. Like we got along great. She was great. Very attracted to her. Very like feelings were growing, but I couldn't do it. Like it bugged the shit out of me. And I knew it would bug me more and more as time went on, and I dropped hints that it bugged me, but you know, it was just weird because I didn't want like a huge confrontation. But yeah, once you like, you got to kind of take charge, right? With a lot of these guys, they're just not taking charge of their life. Like, you need to get good at this skill of asking women out, of pursuing women. You have to get good at it. Why are you not getting good at it? Not getting good at it is destroying your life. Just get good at it. Like, why are there all these weirdos watching like this red pill content on YouTube or wherever? They're watching the whatever podcast, they're watching Fresh and Fit, where they're pushed this ideology to just blame women. Like, it's hard for you to get a date, so just blame women. That's your solution? That's not a solution. That's an excuse. That's not helping you in any way. That's not making your dating life better. You shouldn't, like, in no avenue of life should you just be blaming other people. And I'm saying that from somebody who right now is in a really crappy financial position because of someone else. Like, I've personally been subjected to all kinds of like horrible treatment in my life by other people. But I don't blame them for who I am. I control who I am. I make my decisions. Nobody else does. Why would I let anything hold me back from progressing as a person and getting what I want and like working towards what I want? It's so bizarre to me. I will see you in the next part, which I believe is part 10.